Picture this. You're starving, absolutely famished, and someone offers you 3 perfectly prepared appetizers from 3 different world-class restaurants. Viking blood sausage, Japanese wagyu, and, I don't know, French resistance cheese or whatever they ate during World War II. Each bite is incredible. Your taste buds are doing little happy dances. But here's the thing. You're still hungry afterward, and now you know what the full meal could have tasted like. And you're somehow more frustrated than if they'd just given you a gas station sandwich. That, my friends, is Predator Killer of Killers in a nutshell. Look, I went into this thing with the same protective cynicism I've developed for every franchise movie since Hollywood discovered they could just keep making the same movie forever. After The Predator in 2018, you know, the one where they gave the Predator autism superpowers because apparently we weren't suffering enough, my expectations were lower than my self-esteem after reading YouTube comments. But then Dan Trachtenberg had to go and make Prey in 2022, didn't he? Had to remind us what a good Predator movie looks like. Had to give us hope. And now here he is again with not 1, but 2 Predator movies in 2025. Because apparently when you're good at something, Hollywood's response is, do it faster and more. So, Killer of Killers drops on Hulu last June, and I'm thinking, okay, animated anthology, 3 different time periods. This could be cool. Vikings, ninjas, World War II pilots. It's like someone took my teenage fantasy of what if predators fought throughout history and actually made it. And you know what? They did. They absolutely did make that movie. The animation is gorgeous, like genuinely beautiful to look at. The voice acting doesn't sound like people are just reading words off a page for money. Each segment has its own personality, its own visual style. There are moments where you can feel the love for the source material oozing through your screen. But here's where I start getting twitchy, because this movie commits the cardinal sin of modern filmmaking. It shows you exactly how good it could have been, and then doesn't quite get there. 90 minutes, 3 stories. Do the math. We're getting roughly 30 minutes per segment to establish characters, build tension, deliver predator action, and provide satisfying conclusions. It's like trying to tell the Lord of the Rings trilogy in a single afternoon, except instead of hobbits, we have Vikings with daddy issues. The Viking segment starts, and I'm immediately thinking, this could be an entire movie. We've got this brutal Norse revenge story, family honor, the works, and just when I'm settling in to really invest in these characters, boom, we're moving on to feudal Japan. The Japanese segment is even worse because it's gorgeous. The animation style shifts to this elegant, flowing aesthetic that makes every sword swing look like poetry. And there's this whole ninja versus samurai political intrigue thing happening. I'm like, wait, no, I need more of this. But nope, time for World War II, and the U-2 segment has this amazing concept about Allied pilots investigating threats that might not be entirely human. And there's moral complexity about warfare and intervention, and you guessed it, we barely scratched the surface before the credits roll. It's like they went to a concept buffet and took tiny portions of everything instead of committing to one amazing meal. Each story is good enough to make you desperately want the full version, which means the movie succeeds at being entertaining while simultaneously driving you insane with unrealized potential. The critics are calling it relentless, gory, and action-packed, which is technically true, but also feels like reviewing a pizza by saying it has cheese and sauce. It scored a 7.5 on IMDb, which in modern movie terms basically translates to didn't actively insult your intelligence for 90 minutes. But here's what really gets me, and I need you to understand this comes from a place of love. This movie represents everything I find frustrating about modern franchise filmmaking. Instead of betting big on one incredible story, they hedge their bets across 3 decent stories. Instead of trusting audiences to invest in a single narrative for 2 hours, they give us 3 30-minute chunks designed for our alleged goldfish attention spans. It's the Netflix-ification of cinema. Everything designed for binge consumption rather than deep engagement. And the worst part? It works. The movie is successful. People are watching it, which means we're going to get more movies structured exactly like this. Don't get me wrong. In our current landscape, where franchise entries usually feel like they were made by committee and focus group to death, competently executed with genuine effort is actually rare. When was the last time you watched a franchise movie and thought, the people making this actually care about the material? Dan Trachtenberg and his team clearly give a damn. You can see it in every frame. The Predator mythology is respected. The action sequences know how to build tension. The historical details feel researched rather than Googled 5 minutes before filming. And that's exactly what makes this so frustrating. It's almost great. It's tantalizingly close to being something special, but it settles for being pretty good. In a world where we get disasters like Alien Covenant, this movie is genuinely a win. But it's the kind of win that makes you angry about what could have been a knockout. Imagine if they had committed fully to any one of these concepts. A 2-hour Viking revenge saga with a predator? That's The Northman meets Predator. I would watch that movie 17 times. Feudal Japanese political intrigue with an alien hunter manipulating both sides? 13 Assassins meets Predator. Take my money. World War II pilot uncovering alien intervention in human warfare? The moral complexity alone would be worth the price of admission. But instead, we get sketches. Beautiful, well-crafted sketches of what could have been masterpieces. So is Predator, Killer of Killers a great idea wasted? Yes and no. And that's what makes it so maddening. It's a great movie that could have been 3 amazing movies. It's good enough to make you happy and just flawed enough to make you furious about the missed opportunity. It's worth watching, definitely worth your 90 minutes. But when you're done, you're going to sit there wishing there was more, and not in the good way. You're going to wish there was more because you can see exactly how much more there could have been. And maybe that's the real tragedy here. Not that it's bad, it's genuinely entertaining. The tragedy is that it's good enough to show us what greatness would have looked like, then chooses not to reach for it. With Predator Badlands coming this November, maybe Trachtenberg will show us what happens when you fully commit to a single Predator story again. Until then, we're left with this beautiful, frustrating reminder that sometimes the biggest waste isn't a terrible movie, it's a good movie that could have been extraordinary. So yeah, that's my complicated relationship with Killer of Killers. It made me happy, it made me angry, and it left me wanting more for all the wrong reasons. Which, honestly, might be the most human response you can have to art these days. Now I'm curious, am I being too harsh here? Did you walk away satisfied, or did you also find yourself daydreaming about the 3 separate movies we didn't get? Let me know, because I genuinely can't tell if I'm being reasonable or if I've just watched too many franchise movies and developed unrealistic expectations for basic storytelling commitment. Either way, I'll see you next time, assuming we all survive whatever Hollywood decides to reboot next week.
Hecha policía.